The crowd have gone absolutely wild here. Here he comes now, Jeff Fenech. The whole country is obviously behind Jeff Fenech, and it'll be a wonderful thing when he hits the ring, because he faces one of his best challengers up to date, the gold medalist from the Olympic Games. And I'm sure it'll be... Listen to the crowd.
The atmosphere absolutely electric.
Absolutely electric. The little man from Marrickville with a mean look on his face.
And if he wins this, he's had to overcome the disability of the hand injury plus the weight problem and possibly just a lack of sparring partners, but by golly, he looks fit.
He certainly does, and that determination look on his face tells you one thing only. He wants that McCrory out of the way.
Professional career, 13 wins, 11 by knockout, a far superior record to that of his opponent in the knockout department.
It's an impressive record, I must say, and the kind of pressure that's put on this young man has been phenomenal. So we shall obviously see him go to much greater heights.
Well, I guess he'll assume his customary role, Joe, and take the fight up to McCrory, who carries his hands fairly low, as I've seen him in the spars. He carries them around the midsection, but he's got a good, fast pair of hands.
Yes, he does, and I believe that Jeff Fenech, with this combination, will catch McCrory, even though he's going to be, I believe he's going to run. The American camp has been saying that McCrory is going to stand there and mix it with Fenech. I disagree. I've got a feeling he's going to run for his life. And this is where I think Fenech will come on with his combinations and do his work.
Also presenting undefeated Victorian prodigy, soon to be seen in action.
Well, it's a great pity that, of course, Pearlie Sneed, who hails from the Cronk Gymnasium, couldn't step in here tonight to meet Paul Ferrari in the main attraction. It was very disappointing and drew a lot of derision from the crowd, but maybe he had a reason.
I think if I was given a world title opportunity to fight back in my own country, which in his case is America, I would certainly refuse to fight a KGL timer like Ferrari, because let's face it, I think Ferrari could have pulled a surprise.
Southpaw, and a southpaw spoiler too, could make you look a bit ordinary.
The boxers gloving up at the moment in preparation for 15 3-minute rounds. Earlier today at this same venue, the Sydney Entertainment Centre, we saw them at the traditional weigh-in, and Jeff Fenech was first up. It was a fairly quick entry to the scales and exit. We'll find out why in a moment, but the American manager, Emmanuel Stewart, wasn't too happy about the whole scene.
I was trying to look behind and see you. I mean, we know ourselves. We push guys up ourselves. There's too many people behind. This is the way the weigh-in should be, where no one is behind him, where we can see what's going on.
All a bit too quick for Emmanuel Stewart. This is the way he wanted it done. Steve McCrory up on the scales, and he weighed in just under the limit weight. Jeff Fenech right on the limit of 53.5, 8 stone 6 pounds under the old scale. And this was the reason Jeff's early exit from the platform there, a bit of homemade ravioli.
Round by round, I worked him out early, no problems. I've never been down, mate. I'm not going to let him put me down. My mum's here tonight. If anybody's going to put me down, it'll only be her.
Thoughts from Jeff Fenech, and Steve McCrory looking mean. He hasn't looked too impressive, and he certainly hasn't been impressive in his regard to Jeff Fenech.
Looking at an inexperienced and experienced fighter in the ring together. So I'm going to take Jeff Fenech to school and drop him off.
Take him to school and drop him off, Joe.
They're heavy words, and for a young man who's only had 3 knockouts in his career, and we can, I think, dispute even those 3 knockouts, it's quite a number to lay on the world champion.
The body punching, are we going to see a lot of that, do you think, Jeff?
I think from the American, you'll see some good body shots. He seems to concentrate around that area, and of course fighters who box under the banner of the Cronk Gymnasium in Detroit are told that the head moves and the body doesn't, so they tell their boys to concentrate on the body.
And Joe, Jeff's been fasting all week. Is that going to make a difference? He's lost somewhere near half a stone.
I think it'll definitely affect his stamina, because let's face it, he's only a little chap, and to lose that kind of weight in such a short period of time obviously will affect his stamina. But I still believe he'll have enough to beat this little guy from America who's obviously come here to win. I mean, it's not going to be a pushover, but Fenech will have the strength still remained in his body that will be able to do the job.
And Fenech, of course, sporting a hand injury for some time, bruised knuckles, calcification there. He seems to have recovered pretty well from that, though.
Joe, would you think,
Ladies and gentlemen, would you rise?
as in football, painkillers, what sort of drug would they use if they had to put something into his knuckles, Fenech's knuckles?
Well, what they normally do, Jeff, if it's a very painful problem, they would inject you with cortisone injection. We'll continue this after the...
Yes.
Well, the speakers at the entertainment centre having less trouble with the Australian national anthem than the American. We're ready for a big 15-rounder.
I'm talking about the hands of Fenech. This being a 15-round world title fight, I suppose that an extra wrapping of bandage will be out to it.
No, there is a law that each World Boxing Council have, and the IBF Council will have the same ruling. You can only use a certain amount of bandage on your hand, and that's the law.
Between, from the red corner, scaling 8 stone 5 pounds, from Detroit, the United States of America, wearing the famed Kronk Gymnasium colors, gold trunks, signature band, red and blue stripe, victorious in 126 of 141 amateur contests, including the Golden Gloves, the World Flyweight Championship in 1983, climaxed by the gold medal at the 1984 Los Angeles Games. Activating sophisticated fury, challenging from Olympian heights, Steve McCrory. And his opponent, occupying the blue corner, scaling 8 stone 6 pounds, from Marrickville, Australia, wearing the colours of South Sydney Rugby League Club, red trunks with red band and pipings, captain of Australia's boxing team to the Los Angeles Games, unbeaten as a professional in 13 contests, 11 inside the distance. In the third defense of his crown, annexed in April of 1985, exacting retribution, unique, fistic phenomenon, champion Jeff Fenech.
This must be a great moment for both of these guys again, because they wanted to meet each other in the Olympic Games, and obviously it never came off.
Yes.
So the nerves must be playing up in both of them.
Well, I think that the background of it comes from the Olympics, and I think it's very aptly named to call it Olympic revenge, particularly if Fenech can win it, and he certainly looks very fit.
Both men look very fit, and I'm quite sure that the victorious one will respect his opposition.
Looking at the American, he doesn't seem to be as small as against Fenech as I thought he might have been, with a disadvantage of height and reach.
Most fighters, Jeff, who are black, tend to come up much larger than the white fighters. That's, I suppose that's the colouring of their skin that would make it that way. But I would he does look much smaller than Jeff in the shoulders and in the arms.
We've got three judges, one from America, Louis Race, Filipino judge Pasquale Ingasan, and Johnny Wheeler from Victoria. And the referee, former Australian welterweight champion Paul Moore, will be a non-scoring official. They're just about set to go.
Paul is a very good referee. He's very fair, so we should have a good contest here.
Out they come for the World Bantamweight IBU Bantamweight Championship, and Fenech drops one low, and McCrory steps away, has the hands held high, jabs out a left, and carries the glove back to his face. Both men probing each other. Good left to the body by Fenech. A light tap there from McCrory, but he got through Fenech, but Fenech came with two slapping punches to the midsection. Fenech goes around the shoulders, left and right swings.
I think Jeff is working off some of his aggression in these early rounds. As you can see, he's very, very tense. He's going to have to settle himself into the fight.
Trading some very heavy blows to the body there, Fenech. And they caught the American. He took a lot of them on the midsection. Getting his head in close and jabbing nicely with the left hand. Working up to his man and making McCrory know that he's in with a strong, willing and capable opponent.
I think it'll take Jeff around a couple of rounds to settle in this fight, because he's obviously very tense, and he knows that McCrory is a good fighter who winning the Olympic gold medal was no mean feat. So
well, he's putting on points with this attacking stance that he's taking, going up with those wild shots over the shoulder, and McCrory hasn't found the answer in the early seconds of this fight. Fenech still driving forward with a look of defiance in his eyes. Trying to work to the body. The American still with the hands held very high, as he didn't in sparring. He kept them fairly low in the gymnasium spars.
I'm very surprised, Jeff, because I'm totally been proven wrong here, that McCrory is actually standing in front of Fenech and protected himself and taking all those punches on the gloves. I would have thought he'd have run. Just shows you how wrong you can be.
There's McCrory trying to work his right hand in on that occasion. Fenech's left hand scored to the mouth, and he's trying to get around the side of McCrory's left hand, which is tucked up to the face. McCrory keeping those gloves packed in very tight to his face. Chopping right hand there from Fenech. McCrory tries to get inside the Australian. Fenech is dishing it out at the moment. Trying to drop one low there, Fenech, as he backed away from his man and might have mistimed the shot. Fenech working the perimeter of the ring, and in comes the American with a right hand and a left to the face, and tries to follow up, but Fenech went up with the gloves and has tight defense. Oh, there's a good right hand from McCrory. Might have just scrambled away as Fenech seemed to roll underneath it. And he tries again for the body. The American weaving in close, doing a lot of head weaving. At the time, both boys scored with simultaneous left-handers. Now McCrory working Fenech into a corner and ripping away to the body, but Fenech comes off the ropes with good counter-punches.
It's lovely to see McCrory obviously showing his vast experience as an amateur, protecting himself and being able to take all those punches on the gloves and the arms, it's a case of a true champion who has gone great heights in his amateur career. Admittedly, it's only the first round, but he's shown himself to be a very good challenger.
Yes, he surprised me there, McCrory, and in fact, I think there's a chance that although Fenech was attacking solidly there, but as you say, he had the elbows in the right position, McCrory, but he didn't show this snap, McCrory, and the attacking stance that he had in the gymnasium. He let the fellows lead to him, and he was working counters out all the time.
McCrory is very cool and very calm in that corner. He obviously knows he's in there with a very determined champion. So I know he knows his work is cut out for him.
Well, McCrory looks undisturbed, and Fenech raring to go. Round 2. McCrory stepping up to his man. Fenech comes in with the hands around the American's fist, which are tucked in close to the chest. McCrory trying to balk Fenech into a lead. Fenech jabs the left and then goes around his opponent, slapping with the right hand.
Here he is. Watch your head.
Caution there from Paul Moore. I think it might have been against Fenech for told him to watch his hands.
It looked like McCrory was actually talking to Fenech then. He says, watch your head, watch your head. I'm afraid when you're fighting for a world title, things like this do happen, and it's unfortunate, but he's in there to fight. He's not in there to complain.
Fenech working hard, but he's backing away from the American. Jabs out a left hand. McCrory trying to pin Fenech down, but Fenech keeps ruffling him up as he storms in with those little short punches. The left going away by Fenech. They lock horns in mid-ring there, and the American misses. It goes underneath Fenech's attempted right hand.
It seems to me that Jeff is trying to get his range still. I'm just hoping that he doesn't put too much effort into these early stages of the fight.
Yeah, when you consider that he has a weight problem, and that last week was mainly to get weight off, he may be expending too much energy in these early sessions, possibly.
He's certainly throwing some very good body shots, and McCrory's cringing every time he throws it. That was a very good right uppercut by Fenech. Hit McCrory right flush in the face.
And he worked his right hand to the body. And he goes in. McCrory's very tight. He's, I think, proving to be a better campaigner in the ring, McCrory, than Jerome Coffey. Would you agree with me there?
Absolutely. Jerome Coffey ran for the whole 15 rounds. This man has proven what he said he was going to do, stand in front of Fenech and mix it with him. Jeff has to just settle himself into this fight and not waste too much energy on his gloves, on the McCrory's gloves and elbows.
McCrory is letting some body rips go and then going back into a defensive shell, and these tactics. If Fenech throws and he misses, will be expensive. McCrory back on the ropes, and Fenech trying to bombard him to get an opening. Tries left and right. Short punches from Fenech, some of them missing, some of them landing.
I think both these young men are trying to prove something to the world, and it's amazing when you're an Olympic gold medalist and you're fighting a guy who thought he should have been the gold medalist in the Olympic Games. There's a bit of a grudge fight here, and it certainly shows it.
Good body shots from Fenech. He's working away to the body and finding some open spaces there in the American's midsection. In goes the left hand again from Fenech, and over the top with the right. And there's the bell.
Well, obviously both rounds have gone to Jeff Fenech, and the fight is very tense still at this moment. Both men look very calm and relaxed in the corner.
Yes, I think there's no sign of it going out on an early note. It looks to me as though they've both got enough energy to go on for quite a while.
Absolutely. In the replay, as you can see, Jeff is very tense because you can see every muscle in his back rippling. He's trying a little bit too hard, I think. I think he should settle down a little bit and throw those shots more relaxed. He's just too tense.
That head work from the American is making Fenech's blows get off target a lot in that little action shot we had there.
Yes, well, this is a typical Kronk gym style of boxing. You know, you just move the head to the side and bob away from those big punches. But again, I think the pressure that Fenech will put on him will prove at the end.
Out they move for round 3, and again Fenech attacks the body. Tried to take the punches up, but the American, with a big broad grin, was able to stymie his opponent's effort for a moment or so to break into the clear. Fenech jabbing out again, or tries left to the body and right to the side of the head. Fenech working both hands again. A lot of infighting going on here, Joe.
I think Jeff is going to prove to McCrory that he is a world champion. He's not here to fight for a gold medal. He's here to defend his world title, which is far more, it's valued at far more than the gold medal. And it's not a 3-round fight. This is a 15-round, and it has to go 15. Fenech will be there. And McCrory hasn't been the full 15 yet, so it could get very interesting in the latter part.
Yes, he's only been 10 rounds, and it's a big transition to go at this pace for another 5 rounds, particularly at 3 minutes. Fenech still taking the fight up, catching the judge's eyes. Good left by the American, but Fenech's right was a stinging punch. Getting his hands over the top of McCrory.
McCrory looks as though he's in pain, actually. He's grimacing every time Fenech hits him in the body. It's amazing what a couple of good body shots does. Your hands tend to feel like lead.
And that's what they want to do, to bring them down, so that Fenech seems to be favouring his right hand. He's working well to the body. I think this is the first round we've seen McCrory show a little fatigue.
Well, the punches he's been taking from Fenech has been quite phenomenal. I cannot understand the reason why he's standing there in such an early part of the fight and taking those big shots.
Well, he did a lot of this in the gymnasium. He seemed to take punches flush to around the head area, and he was trying to harden his midsection up, I don't know, but he took a lot of shots that he shouldn't have taken in the gymnasium. But he seems to be a better boxer on the night than he was in the gym.
It certainly does, and a lot of people thought that this fight wasn't going to go anywhere, but I believe that this McCrory is a dash good challenger for the world title.
Oh, by the way, for the people right through the length and breadth of Australia listening to this fight tonight, or watching it, Shane Knox scored a very impressive win over Norm Stevens. That was a good fight, Joe.
Wasn't it just? Yes, I was very pleased to see Steve Norman going the distance, and I was also very pleased to see Shane Knox win.
There was a telling right hand, and in close, Fenech uppercutting, trying to finish the American off, trying to get him wobbling, but the American's staying in close for safety's sake.
Yes, Jeff has really put the pressure on this man. I'm just hoping that he'll be able to sustain this.
It is a fierce pace, you're quite right.
Very fierce pace.
Well, a slower start than normal from Jeff. The Americans scored with a couple of good lefts in the first round and a half. Where have they gone to now, do you think?
Well, I mean, like I said, Peter, in the early part of the fight, I mean, this McCrory is here to win this title, and I just still believe that Jeff... Oh, here's a replay. I mean, just shows you how he's grimacing every time Fenech lands those good shots. But Fenech has not let him off once, and this is a mark of a true champion, that when he knows he's got his title at stake, he will not let go.
What about the centre ring position? It's been dominated by the Americans so far, a position Jeff really likes to hold on to. It's not, doesn't seem to be making any sort of impression in the last round.
Well, they've both been taking the action up to mid-ring and forgetting about the outskirts. That might happen later when one of them gets a little weary.
Well, I still believe that McCrory eventually will realise that the punches he's taking from Fenech at this moment will tell on him, so he'll have to get on his bicycle.
Yeah, I'm inclined to go with you there. He's, for a man who had to watch his weight, he certainly has to watch his stamina in the closing part, but he's very strong, Fenech, and that reach advantage and height, and also the little extra weight that he might have gained after the weigh-in will weigh a bit in his favour in these early rounds, I would guess. There's the American stabbing the left hand out at long range, but Fenech walks up to him, backs him up to the ropes, and works hard to the body. Oh, good right hand from Fenech. Made the American hang on for a moment. And now Fenech's cutting loose underneath. And good punches. The American got 2 or 3 hard knocks to the side of the jaw.
McCrory has certainly taken some very big punches from Fenech. I'm surprised that he's still standing there. Jeff, of course, hasn't let up once yet. He's just put the pressure on from round 1. I don't think those kind of smiles and grimaces from McCrory to the fans is going to help him. He should be concentrating more on his work.
Well, he is an actor, Joe. He and his compatriot, Hurley Sneed, have both had experience in acting, and he might have to use some of that tonight besides the
He may just have to. I would like to just quickly thank all those lovely people for writing in and thanking me to be on ABC for the great fights that ABC has been putting on. Thank you again, all you lovely fans out there, and ABC will continue giving you the greatest fights on television.
This could be Fenech's last fight as a bantamweight. I spoke to him the other day, and he said this trying to pull weight off to fight at that division is telling and taxing his strength, and we might see him here tonight as a bantamweight for the last time.
Well, I think so. I mean, he's only 22 years of age. He's still growing and he's still maturing. He hasn't got an ounce of fat on him, so he must be struggling, as Johnny Lewis has said, to make the weight. I think he should step up one class and give himself that nice breathing pace where he doesn't have to work so hard to get the weight off.
Fenech starting to pound away there at the American. His arms are sagging a little here. McCrory trying to head roll in close there, but steps away from Fenech. Fenech misses left and right.
Jeff has a slight trickle of blood coming out of his nose. It could have been one of those good left jabs that McCrory does throw.
Yes, I can see that trickle now. It's just coming down from both nostrils. Fighting a very cagey fight, the American, keeping in close and making a lot of Fenech's work go astray, but the ones that do land from Fenech are by far the most telling punches of the two. And there's a fusillade of blows from Fenech. The last two or three went astray, but it's keeping him moving.
He certainly is a very clever mover, that McCrory, and a lot of those punches that Jeff has thrown were in mid-air, not landing on its target, but the big ones are landing.
Very good round.
Jeff, you mentioned he was a clever mover, but he's not looking that quick. In training during the week, he was a bit slow on his feet. Also, the Olympic gold medal was won. He prefers just to stay there and sway around rather than dance around.
Well, you see, Peter, as you can see here in the clinches on the replay, although he's not moving so fast, his body and his head is moving fast. Jeff is coming on very strong. But, you know, the amazing thing is we've been talking about Jeff making the weight. I've got a strange feeling that McCrory could have had trouble making the weight as well, because although there is a lot of snappiness still in his punches, there's also, at times, there's a lapse of energy that's not coming forward where it should be. So I think they could have, you know, we may have been seeing Jeff too much and not enough of McCrory. McCrory could have had the same problem.
Yes, looks quick in the upper body movement, but a bit slow on the feet, perhaps.
That's right, and this could be due to the fact that he had to fight to get the weight down as well. Of course, they're both 21, 22.
And both are undefeated as professional fighters, and one has to come out of this fight as a loser. At the moment, it looks like McCrory, but McCrory is still in there with a big chance. He hasn't been visibly hurt, backing away from Fenech after taking quite a lot of short shots around the head and shoulder region and body region. And now Fenech tries to pin him up on the ropes, but McCrory, too smart, is working to the midsection or mid part of the ring. Fenech coming at him again with those charging left hands.
Jeff is one of those type of fighters that would annoy any fighter who he'd be mixing with, because he just keeps coming. And Joe is a typical Joe Frazier style fighter. And I'm sure Jeff won't mind me saying that, but he is just unbearable, I'm sure. And McCrory is beginning to realize this.
Good right from McCrory. It lifted the spray from Fenech's head. That was the best right he's thrown, and he tried to repeat it. May have caught Fenech short on the mouth, but Fenech's back to the body once more.
McCrory does look very composed, although he's been hit tremendously by Fenech. He's still kept his composure, so it's good to see that he's not rustled by Fenech's onslaught.
Because he was the world amateur champion before he won the Olympic gold medal, McCrory, so he has a fine reputation as an amateur fighter. But in the professional ranks, Fenech has the better knockout record, which, if he can keep this pace going, might be curtains for the American in the later rounds. And he's still hammering away to that midsection. Quite a short right-hander.
A very good right hand from McCrory. And I think it shook Jeff. But I think we'll see Jeff Fenech hang in there, and he'll use his own experience that he's gained through his career.
They're We're into round 5, and again Fenech trying to back the American onto the ropes. Just with left and right. American used very good head weaves there to get away from those 2 or 3 shots. But he's starting to fumble around now. McCrory and Fenech stabbing at him. Showing some signs of the wear he's taken, McCrory, in this round.
Well, the fans are certainly loving it, and I'm sure the whole of Australia who will be watching this is enjoying it as much as we are, because both very talented young men here, both undefeated. Jeff has been dying to get to McCrory, and he's got his chance tonight. So both men are going to put on a great show for us, and I believe that Fenech will come out on top.
Yeah, he has the energy to keep pouring it on, and there's Fenech dropping one down a little bit low to the body with the left hand, bounces back, misses with the left. They block each other's gloves, and the American saw a chance to whip a right hander in. Now this goes the bell for round 5.
Well, that was a very tough fight. I could have given it to both men. I think that would have been a drawn round. I believe that Fenech came on strong. McCrory did catch him with a couple of very good left hooks. So the fight is really warming up.
They've only had one common opponent in their professional career, a bloke called Kenny Butts, as we watch the action from round 5. Jeff Fenech beat him in 2, stopped him in 2, and one on points was the decision for the American Steve McCrory. And he doesn't hold much to that particular performance. He said he had an injured hand for that one.
Which is a very, well, no comment on that one. But going back to that replay, if you just notice that, you see McCrory when he threw that right-hander, that looping right-hander, it caught Jeff flush on the face. So Jeff knows now the power in this man's hand. So he's got to be careful, because he does throw a fairly good right hand.
Out for round 6. Fenech again taking the fight up to his opponent. McCrory using the ring spaces now for the first time, starting to bounce away to the outskirts of the ropes. Fenech still trying to pin his man up into the corner, using quite a lot of ring space here as McCrory. Fenech with left and right trying to bounce away off the mark. Fenech chasing his man. McCrory tries to mix it with him for a second on the ropes. Left hand to the body by Fenech.
McCrory is not as muscular as Jeff Fenech, but he still has a lot of strength in those punches. When you can see he throws that right hander very loosely, which is a sign of a good fighter. Jeff, of course, is very muscular, and this is why I believe he has to go up the next division, because he's just wasting away at this weight.
Yes. Certainly make a much stronger man as a super bantamweight, or even up to the feathers a bit later, maybe.
I think later on in his career he could very well make it in the feathers.
Now the American goes back after using the outer spaces of the ring. He's inclined to take the fight up for Fenech. Misses with the left hand. Tries another jab to the face. Right hand there from the American.
Watch your heads. Come on, watch your head, Jeff.
The referee, Moore, is doing a very good job here. He's keep warning Jeff to watch his head, which is quite right. I mean, you know, we don't want any silly cuts and bruises on the fighters.
American tried the right hand and came back with a good combination of punches there, McCrory. Cut loose in good style. But Fenech was stung into action. Back to mid-ring, and they're trading blows from all sorts of directions. Some of them a bit wild.
McCrory hit Fenech with some good punches there, but Jeff came back instantly with a flurry of punches which put McCrory off guard and totally threw him off balance.
Copy left and right, and followed up with another right hand, and now he's got Fenech backing away.
He hit him with a very good left hook. Jeff Fenech was hit with a very good left hook there, and McCrory saw his chance. And he's
well, it's a good round from McCrory. Good round. He's hitting the shots in there. Right hand from McCrory, and now Fenech's looking a little anxious here, and is just stalling for a moment. Backpedaling, stepping away. Tries left and right. They were short of range. McCrory looked for an opening there, but failed to throw the punch in time. Now they're trading right-handers. Fenech missing with the left. This is a good round for McCrory.
Certainly, as Jeff has took some of McCrory's biggest punches, and he's still standing there, so this is a sign that he's very fit. I do still believe, Jeff, that taking that weight down has not done him any good at all. I still believe that Jeff Fenech has taken down that weight too quickly and has strained a lot of his strength.
I think the American might have shaded him there. What do you think?
Well, I mean, as you can see, he's back in his corner. He's not breathing heavily, so it was just two stunning punches that he hit him with. I think you'll see that left hook coming up from McCrory, which caught him flush on the chin. That's a right hand that missed. And I think he comes through with a left hook, McCrory. I think he's just setting himself now. He would come on.
I thought that maybe if McCrory has one around up to this stage of the fight, I'd have to lean to him on that particular.
That round has to go to McCrory.
Yes.
With the left hand, Jeff possibly dropping his right a fraction, and there's a bit of an opening there.
I think what happened here, Peter, is that obviously Jeff has burnt a lot of juice up in the first 3 rounds, and this guy is waiting for him to make a mistake, and Jeff has made it on 2 occasions because he's been hit with some big shots. And look how composed he is. He knows the fight's got a long way to go yet.
My word, and he's still very bright, clear-eyed. Out they come for round 7. Fenech again pounding his mount down low on that belt line, trying to pin McCrory against the ropes. McCrory with the gloves taken up high to the face. Trying to work away here with a probing left hand, ducking away from being pinned on the ropes and throwing that choppy right once more.
I think McCrory is going to do the waiting game where he's going to counterpunch Jeff. Every time Jeff makes a move, he'll come back with that right-hander because he's noticed that his weak point.
Oh, there was
a good body punch from Jeff Fenech.
Very good body punch.
It almost made McCrory buckle.
Come on, fight your way out, come on.
It's a bruising fight, not an inch given. Fenech again moving up, trying to pin McCrory. McCrory threw a good right hand. And he's weaving away from the counter blows of Fenech.
McCrory was talking in that clinch again, and I think he's been hurt.
Fighting a very clever fight, the American, to stay in the contest, but Fenech may have used too much energy in those earlier sessions, but he's still strong. Back comes the American with a hard right hand to the side of the head. Fenech scored well, and they both landed simultaneously in close. It's a bruising, hard fight.
This is a very, very close infighting. Both men have taken tremendous body shots.
Oh, that right hand.
McCrory threw another good right hand, which has caught Jeff on the chin.
Timing that right hand to catch Fenech at the right moment. Fenech dropping that left a little low again. Still pounding away to the body. McCrory tried the right, came back with the left. Fenech may have had the glove there in time. McCrory drops his hands and Fenech dived in with the right and missed.
I think both men have thrown such heavy punches that both seem to have tired quite considerably from the early rounds.
Now it seems to be the American who seems to be showing a little wear in this session. He looked so much clearer in the corner before, but he's starting to wilt a bit under this this battery that Fenech is throwing up to him, the rough and tumble style, ready to mix it all the way.
That's it.
Well, the fans can't worry about the action. They're getting plenty for their money.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm sure the whole country is very impressed with this fight. I mean, McCrory's here as the Olympic gold medalist, and Jeff Fenech, who wanted to fight for it. It's just unreal because they're both against each other, both undefeated. Fenech has the greater knockout record, but this McCrory has really proven himself to be quite a big puncher because he's hit Fenech with a couple of very stiff right hands. There you are, in the replays you can see that again. McCrory, we just get back to it now in the motion. Here's Jeff throwing some good left-right hooks. A bit of elbow coming up from McCrory, trying to power it off. I think he's feeling it in this round where his cornermen are working very hard to try and recompose. And here's Jeff looking good. He says, I'll get him. Look at him clenching his teeth.
Yes, he's got the strength to do it. McCrory's first up onto his feet, looking for action. Round 8. I think again taking the attack up to McCrory, who's using the outskirts of the ring, using good footwork to stay away.
We'll see a bit of McCrory running now and doing a bit of fancy work. I think Jeff would love that because he will catch him with some great body shots. Again, as you can see, a good left jab to the stomach.
Taking a lot of those, Joe. A lot of those jabs to the stomach. Hurtful blows.
It's amazing how that saps your strength.
Okay, come on, mate. Okay. Come on, get your arm, please.
I'm very impressed with McCrory. He's come here and he's done a very good job up till now. He's put up a very good show.
Proven himself a much more durable opponent and scientific opponent than Coffey, who gave Fenech a very good fight. Now again, it's Fenech rolling those shoulders from side to side, trying to balk his man into a lead, taking the fight up again, looking a little fresher, dropping that left hand fairly low on the American's body. Oh, there's a swinging left hand, followed up by another left-hander from Fenech, and left again, and the American dives into a clinch. Now Fenech's pouring on the pressure, and McCrory is backing away to the ropes. In goes Fenech, hard left hand. American might have had the glove to take some of the sting away from it, but it ruffled him up. Back goes the American with a low-slung right-hander in retaliation, and Fenech's trying to work in close again to the body.
I think Jeff has sapped a lot of strength out of McCrory's hand. Even when he's thrown that left jab now, that left-hand jabs of McCrory seem to drop as soon as he pulls back, as you can see. But Jeff still has to keep very aware of this guy throwing that right hand because he throws it very fast.
Come on, down, hole, working close, come on.
Wilting just a shade, or he might be trying to let Fenech spend the energy again in this session.
Jeff's got himself in a great composure. His punches seem to be flying much easier now, so... and I think McCrory's realised that. He's dancing more and he's running away from Fenech more.
Fenech again trying to work underneath McCrory. McCrory tries the right hand again. Oh, taken again there by the right from McCrory. Fenech goes under the gloves of McCrory. They're mixing it up in close. A lot of good left hand by Fenech. And left and right again by Fenech. And a right-hander. And another right by Fenech. Left and right by Fenech. The American backing away.
McCrory is hanging on for his life now. He's really took some big shots from Fenech. He threw a very wild left hook there, which missed. Jeff just keeping the pressure on.
Good swinging right hand by Fenech. This is a good round for Fenech. He's working away. And McCrory took plenty of heavy shots in that session.
Excellent round for Jeff Fenech. I think McCrory would like to have forgotten about that last round. What do you think, Peter?
I think indeed he took some heavy punishment there indeed. Fenech really pouring it on. From over there, I thought though that the American was getting back into it. He was starting to move a bit better around the ring, but he was certainly stood up like a couple of times by Fenech there.
I think the flurry of punches that Fenech threw at McCrory sort of flustered him and he lost his momentum. But of course Fenech does that to all his opponents up till now, so it's nothing surprising to us. But this young man, I'm sure, has never met anybody so aggressive, so determined as Fenech. Not even in the Olympics, as I keep emphasizing. There's my old mate,
Crocodile Dundee Hogan.
Yes,
yeah.
He's very keen on the action and
John Cornell next
concentrating. Yes, concentrating heavily on the fight. By the way, that little trickle of blood, they've done a good job. They've stopped that little trickle from Fenech's nose. Now they move out for round 9, and the American McCrory looking. Oh, there's a good right-hander, and McCrory looking for a chance to find an opening on Fenech's chin with the right glove. Slaps out a left. Then he goes to the body with a stinging left rip. Again tries the punch. McCrory retaliates. They slap away. Fenech missed with the right. Now McCrory keeping the gloves fairly high. Both men land simultaneous jabs.
McCrory does have very good defense, I must say. Although he's been hit with some very good punches, a lot of those punches of Fenech have gone on his arms and his gloves. So he's learned his profession very well. And someone so aggressive as Fenech, who throws punches in dozens and half dozens, it's quite remarkable that he's been able to guard himself so well.
Yeah, McCrory landed that. That was the third right-hander he's landed on Fenech. And they had a bit of sting in them. Fenech's back into a clinch. Left swing from McCrory. And mixing it very tight inside. And still Fenech is concentrating, working on that body. Both men supremely fit. Fenech Letting go with an avalanche of blows here, forcing the American to give ground.
Good combination of punches by Jeff Fenech. McCrory is trying to hold on any way he can in this round.
Break! Step back. Come on, step back. Don't hold.
Fenech throws them in clusters, doesn't he? Joey seems to throw them 3 or 4 or 5 at the time, and one might miss, but the others will be on the target.
The only other fighter that I've seen throw clusters of punches like this was the other great fighter called Bobby Chacon, who was one of the greatest champions I've seen. And Jeff is certainly proven that he can throw as many.
Slugging away in very close quarters. Both men watching their defences very tightly indeed. A lot of short infighting here. American rolling his head onto Fenech's shoulders, trying to get set for the right again.
I'm sure of a lot of those little towns way out in the sticks and the countries are enjoying this fight, because this is one of the finest fights I've seen on television for a very long time. And I just want to quickly say hello to my mum, Mrs. Elstop in Chinchilla, Queensland, way out in the bush. One of the loveliest places in the country, Chinchilla.
Heard a lot about it. Now, Fenech again has McCrory pinned on the ropes and is scoring short punches around the mouth and neck region. Oh, a couple of choppy rights from Fenech, good punches. American didn't have an answer for them there on that occasion. And now McCrory is yielding ground again.
That's it.
Well, gentlemen, round 9. How are you scoring it so far?
Well, I'm sorry, Jeff, what do you think?
I got Fenech a good leader.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that McCrory's got possibly 2 rounds, and the rest is all Jeff's. I mean, the sheer pressure that he's put on this guy, in points-wise, there's no way he's behind.
We're coming up to round 10, and of course, this is where the pressure will go on the American, because he hasn't gone. Yes.
In his close quarters, I mean, just see the amount of punches he's hit him. He's hit him again with about 8 or 9 punches.
With a shoulder turn and heaps of power behind them.
Look at Fenech's face. He's so determined, you know. He says, "You're not taking my title. I'm sticking and holding on to it."
Yes, with the power of Fenech's punches and the consistency of them, he has to be a very good leader up to this point of the fight. And now the pressure, as I said, goes on to McCrory, coming into the last 5 rounds, the last 6 rounds.
Well, this is still territory that McCrory knows about. He's been 10 rounds a few times, but after this round, if it goes beyond 10, it'll be new territory for him. So it'll be very interesting to see how his mental conditioning will hold up to it.
He's going to use the outskirts of the ring, the perimeter, to get away now. And there's Fenech trying to keep him in range and work that right hand to the head. Fenech dancing from toe to toe, squaring and flexing the shoulders. Left hand by Fenech. McCrory chops in with that right again. Fenech tried a left, but the American's glove was there to steer it clear of the mark. Well, the American used good evasive tactics there, got away. Rory
get your arm close.
Referee telling them to keep their arms clear. Rory missed with the right over Fenech's shoulder.
I think this is where you'll see a turn of the tides, because Jeff will come on very strong now in the last 5 rounds, whereas McCrory, who's never been beyond 10, will start collecting the bigger shots on his chin.
Nice left and right from Fenech. They were very hurtful punches, and McCrory is not looking too well. McCrory backing, or seeking refuge in a clinch, trying to keep up as close as he can, push Fenech away there with the left glove, and tried a loopy right hand. Missing with a very wide swing there, McCrory.
Jeff is now picking McCrory to pieces with some of those big body shots and right-handers. I mean, there's no question about it. Jeff Fenech is one of the best bantamweights in the world. In fact, he is the best bantamweight in the world. But I don't believe anybody could stand up to his pressure.
Well, he's currently rated by the Ring magazine, which is the Bible.
All right, watch your head. Whoa, hold on a second.
Of
Hold
all
on a
the
second.
ratings, I think.
Right? You and you. Watch your head.
Referee's doing a very good job, because both men were using their heads a little bit there.
They're telling them both that they had to watch their head. Well, it's a close-in fight, and I suppose there's got to be contact made frequently with the heads.
Absolutely.
As I was saying, Fenech is rated number 5 in the world by Ring magazine. That's a very big tribute to him.
Yes, it is. But then again, Jeff has proven himself on 3 occasions that he is
stay in their
best
work,
in the
fellas?
world. I believe that he could beat the WBC and the WBA champions.
On tonight's effort, if he could remain a bantam, he'd certainly wear them out. I can't imagine some of these top-rated fighters in that division withstanding this, but whether he fights bantam again remains to be seen. Well, now Fenech pouring the pressure on. Caught McCrory. Swings a hard right, but McCrory dived into a clinch, let the punch slide over his shoulder. But Fenech's trying to get those hands high again. And McCrory keeping his gloves as close as the face as he can get them. There's the bell for the end of round 10.
Well, that was definitely again Jeff Fenech's round. McCrory looks for the wear. You know, he looks as though he's breathing and panting. I think his manager in the corner there is trying to work out. Oh, here's Jeff, of course, looking. Says, oh, I've got him now, saying to himself. Johnny Lewis, his great trainer, is obviously telling him, just keep that up, Jeff. You're doing very well. There's no chance of you losing, but just keep your hands high so you don't get caught with those big right-handers. McCrory, of course, we don't know what he's going to do with himself. He said, what do I have to do to stop this man?
Well, he's got to make his run from here, but whether he's fit enough to do that remains to be seen.
Here's a close quarters, Jeff. Just look at how Jeff just determined, grits his teeth. McCrory looks as though he's determined as well, but misses with a wide left. Jeff comes back with 1-2.
1-2 to the head, and they were good scoring blows. Well, we're waiting for this 11th session. Round 11. They move out now with Fenech getting ready to attack once more.
I don't think we'll see any dancing out of McCrory as of now, Jeff. I think his dancing has been...
I think Fenech's got enough lead in this fight to taper off the pace a bit himself. After all, he did go very fiercely in those first 5 rounds. Good left to the face by Fenech. American dropping that left hand down near the thigh region.
The only thing is, Jeff, that right up to the last round, should it go that far, both men have to be alert and aware of themselves, because both men can punch quite hard and they could get hurt.
McCrory watching very closely, taken in the midsection, left hand. Now the crowd are cheering Fenech on, urging Fenech to bring the finisher over, but the American still is elusive and cagey. Claims the Australian in the clinch. Fenech working the left glove up onto the body and then trying to ruffle his man up on the ropes. And McCrory doesn't seem to have a great answer to this.
He just doesn't know what to do with that pressure that Fenech is putting on him. I would have thought he'd have run and danced a little bit and tried to sustain some of his strength, but he's just mixing it. I can't believe it.
Traded punches there, both landed. There's a good rip there by Fenech.
That punch really hurt.
Taking it high on the shoulders and then trying to work it back to the body. McCrory goes over the top, steps away. Both trading punches into a clinch once more. Both men let right-handers go, though it's trying to be a little astray. Fenech spears to the body. Caught his man with a short right to the head and dropped the left hand down. McCrory fires a right. Fenech's left and right hands are persistent and fast, and they're getting inside McCrory. Fenech still working away, pouring the pressure on.
McCrory's just hanging on now for dear life, because I think he realizes that unless he pulls out something spectacular, Fenech will be there and he'll pressure him right up to the final moment. McCrory's hurt.
Been taken here. He's been hurt.
McCrory's hurt. Yes, McCrory's hurt. He doesn't know what to do with it himself.
He's taking some heavy shots around the body. Fenech measured him there. Right uppercut. Oh, good punch. Beautiful punch by Fenech. And really hurt McCrory. Other right-hander. Left, right by Fenech. Left, right. And the American staggers away. Fenech goes to the body. McCrory's hurt.
The whole stadium has come alive with excitement. There's 11 seconds to go down to the countdown for this round. Both men have thrown big punches. Fenech has come on very strong. McCrory doesn't know where he's standing. I think he'll ride out this round. And that's the end of the bell. What a great round for Jeff Fenech. I hope you're listening, Billy Carter. This is one of the greatest fights you'll ever see in Surfers Paradise.
Well, there's the McCrory. He really took a pounding in that round, and The seconds working overtime on McCrory.
Look at this incredible pressure Jeff Fenech has put in on McCrory's. He just doesn't know where he's standing. He's looking at Fenech with glazed eyes. He's just enough strength to lift his hands up to block some of those shots up. What do you think, Peter?
Absolutely tremendous. Jeff, you used to be an old stadium fan. Does it bring back a few memories for you watching this at close quarters?
Sure does. This is one of the best bantamweight fights I've seen. I've seen Carruthers fight and Lionel Rose, and I don't know that they were any more exciting or colourful than what we're watching here tonight, Peter. But looking at that particular round, the way McCrory reeled a couple of times, there is a chance that he may not see the journey out.
Well, this is it. I mean, Jeff Fenech has thrown so many good body shots at him that I'm sure it's sapped a lot of his strength. And in fact, I cannot understand why he's just standing there and taking more. It just goes beyond me. Because one thing about Jeff Fenech, he will not let up. If he's got his man hurt, he will be there.
Now Fenech's right on top here in this 12th round. And he's calling the shots. The American stepping very deeply into his tracks now. And Fenech's pouring on the pressure. Working to the body and lifting the shots up to the side of the face. He's absolutely wading through McCrory's defences.
Absolutely, and of course this is 11th round and McCrory has never been this far, so the pressure really must be telling on him. Unless he can keep his concentration.
He turned his back, that's a sign he's tired. McCrory turned his back, and Fenech's the master here in round 12. Some of the fans calling out to Paul Moore to stop the fight, but McCrory still has a bit of a glint in the eye. And he's taking shots without answering.
A very grueling fight for both of these men. I'm sure Jeff Fenech will be glad when this fight's over because he has taken some very heavy shots from McCrory, and McCrory has taken some very heavy shots as well.
Fenech well on top in round 12.
Both men are hanging on and leaning on each other, Jeffy, as you can see.
Yeah, the only way they can stay in there. Fenech is still pouring leather across the top, trying to get to McCrory's waistline. There's a short right-hander, is a good punch. Guys around the back of the neck. Over goes the left and right from Fenech, but he's throwing leather at all times.
The sheer strength is coming out. Jeff Fenech is just hitting
A
this
little bit
man.
low, that one, but still. The American doesn't look too well here. The right hand in close. Looking very weary, McCrory. And a grave doubt whether he'll see it out. Those body punches really taking toll of the Olympic gold medalist. And this is very much looking like Olympic revenge. Now Fenech in total control in this round.
Come on, don't hold. Come on, get your arms loose.
Ruffling his man up to the ropes. And McCrory doesn't have an answer.
And if McCrory doesn't throw a punch soon, Ryan Moore will have to step in and stop this fight, but he does come back with 2 or 3. Because if he doesn't throw a shot for 30 seconds, the referee has a right to stop the fight. He keeps coming back and throwing
Very tired, McCrory, and those piston ring shots pounding away to McCrory's body, certainly sapping his energy.
I'm sure both men will be looking forward to the end of this round because this has been a very, very tough one.
That's it.
McCrory definitely worth the wear there. Jeff Fenech obviously has won that round very clearly and decisively. I just don't know why on earth Emmanuel Lewis is asking McCrory to stand there and take all them shots. It's just it's beyond me.
Well, it looks certainly like it's going to be unlucky 13 for McCrory unless something amazing happens because he copped an absolute pounding in that round.
This is it. I mean, this is incredible. And Jeff Fenech does not let up at all. And for him to take that kind of stick from a pressure fighter like Fenech, it's just beyond me.
Well, he must be in remarkably fit condition to have withstood that when you come to look at it.
Absolutely. I mean,
having
McCrory,
his first 15-rounder.
And as you noticed there, McCrory turned around there, unfortunately the wrong way, so the referee could have actually stepped in and said, what you're doing. But the pressure Fenech has put in on him was just tremendous. Johnny Lewis is obviously very calm and collected. He knows his man's got the fight won. Jill has to be very careful with those right-handers. And here's round 13.
Round 13. And again, McCrory tried a good long right and it scored. Fenech looks a lot fresher on the face. That slight nosebleed has been halted. And it's Fenech pinning his man up in the corner, pushing him onto the turnbuckle of the ring, and McCrory tries to wrestle him out into the open spaces. Fenech moving from side to side, square stance coming up. Busy fists. The American dives underneath them, gets into a clinch.
Well, as we can see here, Jeff, again, Jeff Fenech has put on a great performance. And here we are in round 13, and Fenech is as fresh as he was in round 1. And it's a remarkable credit to this young man who's a great champion in the IBF for Australia.
Well, McCrory seems to have been defending mainly in the last 2 or 3 sessions, just trying to stop the punishment coming his way, but he's not offering much back in retaliation.
I think McCrory underestimated Jeff Fenech's strength and aggression. I don't believe he knows where he's standing.
They cut into the clear there, but it was a fairly ragged sort of a punch to McCrory. Fenech's too short, right's landed in close. Fenech tries the body with the right hand, goes up with the head again, working the gloves around McCrory's waistline, and the referee looking very closely for any infringements.
Well, the fans have certainly got their money's worth here, Jeff.
Well, it's been a very strong tempo fight. It's been fast-paced, very hurtful punches, and no man giving each other any quarter. McCrory is being pinned up on those ropes again. Tries retaliating punches with the left hand. Fenech missed with an up-country right-hander.
Both men are actually right above us here, Jeff. I can feel those punches sinking into the body. Jeff Fenech is
very heavy.
McCrory keeps coming back with those great left hooks and right. But here's Fenech again with this combination.
Now he's got McCrory fighting back with the body fusillade, but he's just sagging a bit in the legs, McCrory. And he's in a dangerous area there, with Fenech able to call the tune and pin him up against the top strand of the rope. Turning his body once more. He's in trouble again, McCrory.
I cannot believe, Jeff, where Fenech is getting all this energy from.
It's the 3rd time he's turned his body. They might stop this fight now. But he doesn't have an answer to the Australian champion.
To the Australian world champion. No answer to him at all.
He's looking very ordinary here, McCrory, and I'll have to watch him very closely. Yeah, I think the referee's considering that now he goes down.
That was a very good punch to the body that put him down. In fact, it buckled him. Fenech totally buckled him with that tremendous right hand to the body. I think we'll see it on our replay. McCrory looks really tired in this round, and he took a tremendous body shot which actually buckled him. I've never seen it done before. You watch Fenech pull back here. I was hitting with a left hook, a right hook, left hook, right cross. You see that right cross straight to the abdomen. It was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, it took the wind out of his sails, and he went down. I think he was winded, very badly winded. He's up very quickly onto that knee and then regained the upright. But surprisingly, he gets back into the corner and he still looks bright in the eyes. I thought there was a chance the referee could have stopped it.
Well, not really, Jeff, for a simple reason. McCrory, although he got up very quickly, his eyes look very clear. I mean,
they are clear now, yes, but he seemed to be dazed at that stage of it. By the same token, there was no count applied because the bell rang almost immediately when he regained his feet. McCrory's out again, but Fenech's working those piston-like gloves and again trying to pin McCrory up on the ropes. Fenech again wrestling his man over to the ropes, pushing him and then throwing a right hand. And McCrory is trying to reel underneath them. But if he latches onto one of them, it could be the end of the contest. He just keeps rolling away, trying to work his shoulders underneath the top strand of the rope. Fenech is pounding away relentlessly.
McCrory does not have an answer to those combinations and that flurry of punches that Fenech throws, because every one of them is a hurtful punch that comes onto him. It's quite phenomenal what he's doing here tonight, Fenech.
Sweat pouring out of both fighters' bodies. And McCrory is feebly trying to defend himself, but he's getting in close and staying in there, seeking refuge in the clinch. He's still being worked at by Fenech on the body. Trying to drop him down under his protective belt there, I noticed.
A lot of those punches of Fenech are going to the body a little bit low.
And the fans are calling out to Paul Moore to stop the fight, but I don't think it's necessary for that at the moment, but he's still backpedaling and taking plenty of punishment, McCrory.
No, I think McCrory's still quite open. His eyes look all right. He's not glazed, but I think he's just worn out.
He's worn out, yes. This is where the 15 rounds are starting to find him out. That might be the end of it, and Jeff Fenech is the winner.
That was an impressive victory by Jeff Fenech, and I must give all credit to McCrory, but Jeff Fenech was the better man here tonight. He just outdone McCrory, period. A wonderful, wonderful fight, and Jeff Fenech has proven again and again that he was a great champion.
Great sportsmanship to lift his opponent off the floor. And,
that's right.
Yes, I think so.
As you can see here, Jeff, McCrory was totally outclassed in the last 5 rounds. And for Jeff Fenech to come over and pick him up and give him a lift of congratulations is just a typical sportsman. And it's nice to see Jeff Fenech now realizing that he is a tremendous champion and he has to look upon himself that after the fight, you know, you don't have to be angry. The fight's all over now, and here he is. Tremendous victory. Here he is still lifting McCrory's hand. A
Very
little
strong
cuddle from Johnny Lewis. And as you can see here, Jeff just is so elated because he's dreamt of this fight for so long. And here's Johnny calling him back. And poor old, I'm sure Jeff is very happy. And he just doesn't know where to go to congratulate his fans. He's lifting up, I think he's lifting a little child. There you are, look at that. He's got a lovely little boy there with him, a lovely little kid, and there's Jeff hugging on to Johnny Lewis. And I believe Peter is trying to get a little interview with Jeff Fenech, the world champion, who's just defended his title victoriously. And Peter is now, I believe, just getting on to him.
Right around Australia, they're watching you, Jeff. They're congratulating you apart from the 12,000 here. Were you surprised you were still standing there at the end?
Very surprised. Olympic gold medalist and a great fighter. He beat all the professional guys for us. He's tough and he's a worthy gold medalist. And I was just happy I could beat him tonight. Thanks very much, Australia. Thanks to all my sponsors. Thanks everybody for supporting me. I love you all.
You started off a bit slowly, Jeff, but you really came at him in the last 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He hit you a bit in the 6th. Did he hurt you?
He hurt me. I'm a champion. I come back to the champion rounds. He hurt me, definitely hurt me. There's no way I'm going down. I'm a champion. I'm a proud Australian. I'm going to stay that way.
What's the future?
Well, I'll wait and see my trainer. I love my trainer. I'll do whatever he tells me.
Jeff, congratulations. We'll let you go and taste the spoils of victory.
Thanks very much, Australia.
Definitely a great fight there, Jeff, and I'm sure the whole of Australia applauds this young man from Detroit, from the Bronx gym, where Tommy Hurt, one of the greatest welterweight champions ever, has come from. This young man has come here to win this world title. He didn't do it, but all the fans, and I'm sure the whole of Australia will applaud this young man for doing such a great job. And Jeff Fenech, of course, has been just fabulous.
Tremendous courage to withstand that as long as he did, and a great sportsman too. He was very popular with the young people when he fought in the gymnasium and the spars, and he's given them a great show. One and all, whether you be a young schoolboy or an older
Jeff,
fighter.
I mean, here we are, look at this. I mean, the fans are actually looking at Jeff with his gold medal that he's not going to keep. That's not his gold medal, that is McCrory's. But McCrory was kind enough to let him show it off. He says, well, I didn't get that one, but I'm still the world champion. And back to Peter. Back to Peter.
Well, there it is, a fantastic encounter at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. I hope you've enjoyed the action. We certainly have. We'll see you next time. On behalf of a gallant winner, Jeff Fenech, a fantastic loser, the American Steve McCrory, and Joe Bugner and Jeff Marnie, Peter Wilkins wishing you a very good evening.
Well,